Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's get ready to rumble.
Jimmy King is the best wrestler. He's the bestler, better than all the wrestler. He's got class. He's really fast. He'll rule ass. He'll rule that ass. Jimmy King. It's not finished. We're still kind of working on that end part.
Hello and welcome to the worst movie ever made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ockman. I'm joined by my co-hosts and fellow mad scientists, Rob Scucci and Bob Hassick. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing Ready to Rumble? Sorry you don't have anything to drink, Bob.
Yeah,
I just realized that.
I will.
I'm gonna have to leave the podcast for a minute to get water.
I'll let you know when a long clip comes up, and then we'll do it then. Okay.
Thank you.
So, I am doing great. I am in my parents' office. I am in Delaware. I'm in future time. Future. We watched Ready to Rumble. It's really bad. I always want to get into wrestling, and then the frame of reference you guys provide me with through the show, No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, and Ready to Rumble, just make me want to step out of the ring indefinitely. But I am fascinated by wrestling and its lore and world building and like over the top, theatrics. But this was not a selling point for me. How are you, Bob? And would you like to describe this?
I was definitely like early to mid 80s. I was totally sold. I was like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant.
It looks so fun.
Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But it's a little kid thing. And when I went to college, a bunch of my roommates, we had like a suite with like 5 rooms attached with 2 guys in each room. And they all went watch wrestling one night of the week. And I'm like, I can't do it. So I just like sat on a chair facing away from the TV. I called it my wrestling chair. And I couldn't watch it. And this doesn't help. This didn't help.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it.
I can't believe that you didn't hate this movie.
As a movie, I didn't hate it. As a concept, I did not like it. Yeah.
It has the basic framework of a movie, and so you didn't hate it?
More so than a lot of the things we've seen, yes.
It has really good talent in it, too.
Fine.
It has really good talent.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent.
I hope you're not
There's
listing
really
David
a lot of
Arquette
No, but
among the talent.
No.
But like Oliver Platt and the guy from Memento, Pretends Tagliano or whatever.
Yeah, but also fucking
Joey Pants.
Yeah, but him and Martin Landau, for God's sakes, Oscar winner.
Yeah, true.
Oh, what happened? All right, so you want to you want to
explain? This is post Oscar win Martin Landau. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, this was like just like 2 days pre-death, I'm guessing, by the look of him.
It wasn't, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All right,
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Mexican guy says to the black guy, I'm gonna give you $10, you go buy me some beer, I'm gonna loan you my car. The black guy borrows his car, goes to supposedly buy him some beer, and all of a sudden he gets out of the car for some reason and somebody hits him on the head.
The best explanation.
Bear with me, I'm on a shittier keyboard today.
Good, because I have a shittier alliteration.
Okay.
Here we go. Relatively rotund and really raunchy wrestler regains resolve and receives reward.
He is rather rotund for a wrestler. We're gonna have to dive into that.
I didn't hear what you said after really. It cut out. Relatively rotund and really blank wrestler regains resolve.
Raunchy.
Done. Got it. Awesome. It's in the bag.
Nice. Okay. So Jimmy King is a wrestler and a really gross dude who has many fans, regardless of his behavior. Yet the promoter for WCW, which they don't change for the movie, it's like the real thing, wants him to move on and retire. But instead of just like striking a deal, he sends other wrestlers into the ring to actually beat him until he's a bloody mess. Like, for real. And then, fast forward a bit, 2 super fans, the lead characters, vow to find Jimmy King and help him get back on his feet to regain his title. Jimmy tries to tell them that it's all fake, but they don't believe him. And eventually King gets a cage match, rematch, and one of the superfans becomes a wrestler himself. And he oddly comes from an entire family of state troopers. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
neither.
That's the story in kind of chronological order, but also like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to stay quiet because I feel like, one, I interrupt a lot, but two, I have so much shit to talk about this movie that I'm trying to save it for the catch-all because it's almost all written there. I have long blurbs. So for now, I'll leave it alone and we'll throw it to the best YouTube comment.
I don't feel anything.
After reading these YouTube comments, I didn't have time to update the bumper this week. I'm sorry, guys, but next week. Okay, here's the comment.
Hey, it's okay.
This one's great, and I'm going to read it as written. I love this movie, space, exclamation point, space, lowercase. If you love Riesling, comma, when you were a kid, this movie is everything. It is a underrated with a capital U movie.
Riesling? Does he think it's Ryan Gosling?
Riesling. You like Riesling?
I mean, the guy kind of looks like Ryan Gosling, I guess, in like a jacked kind of way.
I think he just meant like wrestling, but spelt it wrong.
That's weird.
Oh, okay.
Like Riesling.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Speaking of which, why if you had David Arquette or you had what's his face that played his friend Sean, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know him.
The other actor. Anyway, if you had the two of them, one of them is in really good shape and the other one isn't.
Yeah.
You know, which one are you going to make a wrestler?
Chris, that's too early for that. Too early for that, Chris.
All right, fine. That's just one I didn't write down, but I thought of, so I thought I'd throw it in there. But I'll bring it back up and annoy you guys with it later. For now, we'll do test number 1. Ain't that a pitch?
It should be playing.
Oh, hi.
There it is.
You don't look so good. You're looking kind of grizzly. I have a lovely sack of coconuts.
Test number 1. Ain't that a pitch? Me?
Yeah,
I forget. Is it me this time?
I think it's Bob.
I went last, and then I went second, so I feel like I should go first.
It is you, Chris.
Okay. Arquette is an actor without Hollywood poise. He tries to win you over by making a goofy noise. This movie expects us to find wrestling infectious, and for us to somehow root for two poopy boys.
Oh, that's a theme. Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. David Arquette is such a nepo douche. Barely worth the product of my caboose. Ridiculous wrestlers rumble in the ring. Combatants kicking the cornhole of King. More movies like this, and I'll end up in a noose.
Oh, remember that he said noose. Just remember that. Go ahead, Rob.
I know.
Right.
I know.
Wrestling movie. Guys ride truck full of poopy. Triple cage match. Guys who can't act. How did David Arquette land Courtney Cox?
I don't know. That is a legit question. Okay, I'm going to go Rob because he also used poopy, and he mentioned how David Arquette should never have gotten with Courtney Cox.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna
I'll
go
go
Chris.
with a 4-star.
I'm going Chris 4.
Oh.
I was going to go Chris 4 as well.
Wow!
Bob, Bob was a close second, but I didn't. The team winning, we got to stop with the team wins. And
Yeah,
we do.
I liked and I identified with the suicide ideation. But I think Chris really brought it home with the acquisition.
With the poopy boys?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny, Rob. I was cleaning out my uncle's attic with my brother Dave, and he's like, "You want a mask? It's pretty bad up there." I'm like, I really don't want to live much longer."
Yeah.
And I said, actually, something Rob would say. And he laughed.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's awesome.
It's going through the motions at this point. Anywho.
Speaking of offensive things to say on air, let's throw it to test number 2, the most offensive.
Yep.
If we slow it down, we can actually see the bullets enter and exit Butterfinger.
How offensive!
All right.
Well, you didn't have to wait too long for this foreshadow to rear its ugly head, but number
5.
Nonsense noose on Nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a noose in the cage match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what purpose?
Hanging.
Hanging what? A wrestler? A wrestler hanging another wrestler?
It wasn't even like a complete noose, like with enough slack to like hang it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a one you could hold in your hand. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really stupid. But also suggesting that one wrestler might be well within his bounds to murder another on live television.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let's throw it to our second clip of the day. This is number
4.
Bills.
Hey, you Gina King?
Uh-huh.
Jimmy King's wife?
Yeah.
The Queen.
Right and present.
We're looking for the King. Is he home?
What are you, high? He hasn't been home in 2 years. All I got to remember him by is an itchy crotch. You ever see
Ooh.
crabs up close?
Oh.
Want to say?
Fantastic.
Wait, no. I got this. Ma'am, could you tell me maybe who his associates are?
Yeah. They're all scumbags. You could try Louise.
Bags. And Louise is
A whore. She's a whore.
good. Whores. Scumbags and whores. Great, thank you. You've been a lot of help.
Great.
If you find him, tell him he owes me child support, alimony, and massive dental bills. Tell him I hope his diddly turns
Black and he shuts it in a door or something. I think she says
Something like that.
all right, so let's start at the end there. The massive dental bills.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the little, sub through line there about the son's bad teeth? Did that guy get you guys chuckling?
No.
No.
Unnecessary and forced.
I guess in the early aughts, like affording children of divorce have difficulty with like who's paying for the braces. I've read like fictions and like memoirs, and they always go to the braces and how the parents argued over who's paying for it. and then one kid.
Those sound like fascinating.
Yeah.
Memoirs.
People like you read like those memoir fiction, like like Million Little Pieces and shit. Like I'm running with scissors.
Yeah.
And there's like,
a million little fibers.
I'm not naming the exact titles, but there's always some long drawn out thing about mom and dad arguing over the fucking dental bill and like wearing braces for like 4 years longer than you need to because they won't take them off because they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So
Here's my thing. My thing is he was successful for a pretty long time. You would think they would have like a nice-ish place that she can't afford anymore.
Yeah.
Rather than a shit place that she could probably afford on welfare.
Yeah.
And not worry about him anymore. Like it just seems things don't connect to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right, because it's a really shitty movie.
He wasn't even retired yet. And like I understand like like football players and baseball players, like the non like top tier ones, they make a few bad investment choices and they buy a nice car and a nice house cash, and then like a year after retirement they gotta be a motivational speaker because they're fucking broke. So
right.
Exactly. The timeline doesn't check.
Yeah.
We're still working backwards. I don't love that he says fantastic. I would love to see your pubes.
Yeah.
Would that have crabs?
Yeah.
Didn't really get why he would want to see that.
Because he's such a fucking like he idolizes the man so much that like becoming in contact with a woman's crotch critters who had sex with him is like him being closer to his hero.
Those are king crabs.
King crabs.
That's funny. But hold on. Crotch critters. That sounds like a throwback to Medea what's it called? My dude.
Yeah, my dude.
Oh, my dude. Yeah, it does.
I didn't think of it myself, but it did rattle out pretty quickly. It's probably something from this podcast.
Oh no, we have totally been duped. We've been brainwashed.
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. That's our Not Another Church Movie episode. Check it out. The movie's awful. The episode's
That's
great.
it. I couldn't think of the name of the movie. I just said my dude.
My dude.
Are those chicken breasts or your breasts?
Chicken breast, your breast.
Fuck that movie.
Lastly, why name her Eugenia King? Because when they go up, it sounds like they're saying, "You Jimmy King?" And I was like, what the fuck did they just say? Like, are you Jimmy King?
Yeah,
Eugenia
I'm
King?
with you on that.
I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
I'm totally with you on that one. I agree.
Yeah, name her anything else. All right, number
3.
Okay. Beyond obvious Butterfinger branding.
Yeah.
But it's more offensive because they don't even treat the Butterfinger like it's the best snack on earth like they should if they're branding for it. It's like what they do to wrestling.
Yeah.
But fuck Butterfingers, and they like throw it like a mile away, and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what they say? Any press is good press. They say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't think. I understand the sentiment behind that pronouncement there, but it is not true.
But it's not like Butterfinger is like a respected food.
Yeah,
I don't think they're looking for like, oh yeah, it's a good food. No, it's fucking Butterfinger. They know what they are.
They were willing to take the risk because they're still making Simpsons money at that point. You know, nobody better lay a finger in my Butterfinger.
Yeah,
all right, fair enough.
Branch out their portfolio with David Arquette.
Well, all right, so that's why it's number 3. Number 2. I feel like I just said something similar. I tried to rework this so it wasn't exactly the same, but hard R-tard right up front, like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just think it's okay to, and I guess back then it was, but it is not now.
And that's coming back.
Yes and no.
It is. It's coming back. It's coming back.
It's so back.
Yeah.
It's definitely. Yeah, you're right, Rob. People say it.
Yeah.
But that's because there is no specific classification of a person suffering from anything that that is called that.
It's come back because people use it as a pejorative term for like mentally underdeveloped people or like, people with mental handicaps.
Yes.
We don't use it in that context anymore. It's just like if somebody says something.
No. Yeah, exactly. Now, it was you specifically had mental retardation before they knew each before they divided each one into its own developmental delay.
Yeah.
So now it's an umbrella term, which is why it's still offensive to use it that way, but it's less offensive because it's not something specific.
It's not because I never heard anybody use that word to somebody who actually was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you did, it made you want to immediately punch that person because that's the kind of offensive that we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, number
1.
Is this chicken breasts or is this breasts?
Oh, the naked thing. Oh, the naked thing. Naked.
Excuse me. Alex? Can I help you with anything?
No. We were just checking out your breasts. We're checking out the pipes that go through the walls. See, they're round and large.
Well, thanks.
Oh, God.
That one's Sasha. Perhaps the Nitroest Nitro girl of them all.
I don't get the whole they're in their mid-20s, presumably. Getting that fired up over boobies. I know we have our tit scope, but we're counting boobs in movies, which is kind of fun. And who doesn't like keeping tabs on that kind of thing? But I mean, it's just I don't know. That's a grade school locker room talk.
Yeah.
Or middle school.
Yeah. Plus, so they could have just spent a little bit more time. I hate doing this live on air because if you guys really want to press me, then I'll have to try to think of something. But when you have a room of comedy writers,
Yeah.
And this guy is trying to escape with his life after he said breasts.
Yeah.
There's some other way you could have like come up with. Oops, I didn't mean to say breasts. Like the breast of fresh air from our
Wild Wild West at www.worstmovieevermade.com. He says breast of fresh air, then he corrects himself and says breath of fresh ass, and that's funny.
Yeah, I'll give you that it's much better than I'm looking at your pipes because I want to see where they go and they're big and round. Yeah. The laziest writing of all. Yeah. But also extra naked, he says. No, Neil Breen Jr. They're not naked at all. Yeah. I hate to break it to you.
I had the thought. I think they were trying to imply that they're. He was like, she's naked. I think he was. They were trying to imply that like, they were looking at
ones
women
we
that were naked,
see,
but they were only showing the ones that were scantily clad because they wanted to keep the PG-13 rating or something. But it's too much credit.
I guess
too much credit.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like I got a full breast of the scenery, you know.
Yeah.
And there was no nakedness. All right. Anyway,
Chris,
let's sort to your rat. Well, go ahead.
Hold on. I have a honorable mention.
Me too. Go first, Bob.
Okay.
Or should I say in addition? Siamese twins. They use that term.
That'll come up later.
Yes, that's true. They did. That's
and that
true.
that is definitely outdated, even by then.
Should I just play the abuser now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
We are Satan's Siamese twins!
So, there you go, Bob. We clipped it.
Perfect. That was actually very good.
Okay, and then I have an honorable mention, and I followed your guys' pattern. Poo-pump proprietor punished by pungent parkway prolapse.
Wow.
Nice.
Parkway prolapse, yeah. So, well, you're talking about when they flip over and poo all over everything?
Poo all over the road, yeah.
Yeah. I like your phrasing of that being a prolapse. That's pretty nice.
The truck prolapsed. Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it did. All right, let's start to your ad read.
Purple sticky punch. Illegal. Purple sticky punch. Illegal. Purple sticky punch.
Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by chronically online people with messy mirror selfies complaining about politics. You're going to make it to all the town hall meetings and change the world? You? How about washing your dishes or folding your laundry? Anarchy is cool and all, but in order to solve the problems that you won't shut the fuck up about, you actually have to organize, and that starts with your sock drawer. Get fucked.
Thank you so much.
It's just a chronically. It's just a pattern I've noticed of chronically online people complaining about politics with really messy mirror selfies. You can't even you can't even hold your own lives together, and you think you're going to save the world by complaining on fucking Facebook. It's just
all right. So here's what I don't have fast typing fingers because I'm writing by pen.
Yeah.
So I managed to write down chronically online crusty people complaining about politics online.
Yeah. Cool.
So. All right, let's throw it to number.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You probably
100%.
Yeah,
it's slacktivism.
It's so infuriating. All right, where's dialogue?
Please.
My fucking soundboard. Right, yeah. I'm losing my voice too, by the way. This is all just great.
Fucking President Clinton.
You had sex with President Clinton?
When that's one of the better lines of dialogue in your movie, you know the rest is pretty bad. And this is the worst dialogue.
Yeah.
Number
5.
Breakdown.
Because he sent the tickets.
And welcome to One Man Suicide! Tonight, the WCW belt is on the line! $1 million is on the line! And one man's life is on the line! Jimmy King! You want the belt? Come on down and get it! It's at top of the cage of death, which is on top of another cage which is yet on top of another cage.
I'm trying to look up the episode number, but our very own podcast, we one of our early episodes for Over the Top, episode number 4, which you can find at www.theworstmovieevermade.com, has a very similar rundown before the final competition about the double elimination.
That's true. That's true, they do. Yeah. Okay, so yes, very cheesy over-explanation of what's going on because we already know, and a very small crowd to pipe in that much audio for. But also, there is an actual grammatical issue.
It's fucking dark and it's too fucking bright, so I'm just trying to come up with a solution.
No, it's cool. As long as you're like right in front of the light, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But there's actually a grammatical issue, which I think maybe you could take with the sentence I just spoke. But he says, a cage on top of a cage, yet on top of another cage, which obviously he meant to say on top of yet another cage.
Yeah.
So, before you finalize your movie,
do a fucking table read.
Yeah. Exactly. Just run through this kind of shit. Well, that's why it made it, because there's a grammatical error.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think the next clip you pick, it might be the next one or the one after. There's one I'll point out. That took me out of the movie as well.
All right, so let's throw it to number
4. Yarg.
This is Be There.
This is the one.
No! That was unsanctioned. And per the bylaws of the WCW, that belt cannot be passed.
You give me what's mine, you slimy ass freak!
You can't win by ambushing your opponent.
Hey, any match, anytime, baby.
You heard him, Sinclair! Any match, anytime! You want a match? You got one match.
One match? You name it.
The steel cage.
Steel cage? Done. Win.
He didn't even have to win.
Well, he's not gonna win. No, he's gonna win.
All you have to do is survive.
Yeah.
You survive, and you get this belt.
Yeah?
Plus $1 million. But if he loses, you forfeit your crown and never be able to wrestle again.
It's a deal.
Whoa, you got a match, baby. Whoa. Hold on, baby. Now hold the phone. Hold the damn phone.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. A new first 4 weeks from tonight. MGM Grand pay-per-view. Be there!
I don't even think it's a grammar issue, but you never be able to wrestle again. There were other ways they could have phrased that.
Oh, he said that?
Okay. Or you'll never be able to wrestle, or you'll never be a wrestler again, or you'll never work as a wrestler again. It sounds
because he will be able to wrestle.
Yeah.
Just not for this promotion.
Yeah, it just sounded clunky. It's like one of those, I don't think they table read half the script.
Yeah, agreed. The script is terrible.
We'll find out, but I wouldn't be. I didn't read anything about the production, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were rewriting this as they were shooting it and they weren't doing table read.
That's totally fair and definitely a possibility. I'm wondering why.
I'll say that right now.
if in reality they wanted to get rid of Jimmy King,
then
why give him a match? Why give him a match plus the chance to have a title?
All right.
Fight plus the chance to win $1 million.
I am not much of a wrestler, but I would surmise that it's good for ratings. Oh, like this guy.
But
he's disgraced. He's coming back. He could win it all, or he can get dumped in the gutter. And everybody who's into that would be really enthused, right? No, maybe.
Okay, so it's sort of part of my catch-all, but I'll just say it now. If he is a good draw, like in wrestling terminology, if he draws a lot, like if he gets a lot of heat, if he's good for the audience, he has a lot of charisma, and people care. Then they're not going to just all of a sudden get rid of him from the sport. He sells a lot of merchandise,
and that's kind of what's confusing about the whole movie.
He draws a crowd.
It's like, yes, he does act out of pocket and drink a lot or whatever. He rubs everybody the wrong way, but he's still the top draw at the beginning of the movie. It's not like he wasn't fucking up his events or anything like that, or missing.
So you take the title off of him. You take the title off of him, and you would stick him in the mid card to teach him a lesson and see if he can not be an alcoholic anymore.
Yeah.
but that not in this movie. In this movie, it's like Titus O'Neil or whatever his name is, Joey Pants, has a personal vendetta against him, and he is wrestling.
Yeah.
Him in his bolo tie and his like Native American jacket.
Yeah.
And he just like decides I'm going to get rid of this wrestler who draws a big crowd and sells a lot of merchandise. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Number
3.
This is butt fruit.
Hey, Gordy? Yeah? Why does it look like you have your finger in your butt?
Does it do?
All right, Jerko, what do you want?
I need a new sugar slush.
Why?
Because there's something wrong with this one.
Smell it.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Oh, that's awful. Ah, I know. Oh, smells
What's
like
most offensive?
like my ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe your ass. It's weird, huh?
Like a bitter, sour ass. Oh.
It's like you poured it right from your butt.
Oh. 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 Oh, I will get you another one ASAP.
Thanks.
So bad. How could you drink that?
I struggled through most of it, but the butt fruit just kind of settled at the bottom.
The convenience store guy too. He was so inconsistent in like whether he hated them or loved them or would be a dick.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
like, kind of chill.
Totally. Yeah.
Like I'm just going to get you another one.
Not gonna question it.
Another one of the same butt fruit that was swirling around when you
From the
poured it
same
half
pump,
an
from the
hour
same
ago.
Pump, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. Those are the details that piss me off. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right. How about number
2?
This is Bean Bus.
Thank you. See you guys later. You chicks rock. Okay, bro, listen to me. I know we just got all this religion, but I got a serious question I have to ask you, and I need a serious answer. Okay, you swear to God.
Swear to God.
How many times did you fart in that van?
What does it mean, man?
Swear to God. Me neither. Swear to God.
Oh my God. They are the farting nuns.
Oh, God.
Ew.
Which one of you guys said this was better than Biodome?
Me.
Fuck you. All right, next clip.
It still is.
I actually agree with Bob. This is better than Biodome.
No,
I stand by that statement.
Absolutely not.
I think that I already wanted to bring up Biodome, though. I almost did before because it's the same. Man, this could be like a doubleheader at a fucking movie theater, like a little back.
Yep.
It really could. These are so similar.
Being the really good feature and this being like the B movie people are just going to make out during and not watch.
Sure.
Dude, Pauly Shore. Fuck him.
David Arquette. Worse.
No,
Okay.
he's not worse.
No, I don't know. I hate them both so
liked him in
much.
Scream. He was fine in Scream.
If I could flip a coin to determine which one of them dies, I would carve a head somehow very convincingly into the other side as well, and then because I want them so badly to die, both of them. That doesn't even make sense. Number
1, Daddy.
But you know where I'm going with that.
You know what? Fuck it.
This is burritos.
Welcome to Easy Takeout Burger. How may I help you?
Sean wants Brittany's taco. The cheese all over. Poor favor.
I should have smelled it was you. What do you guys want?
Hi, Brittany. I'm sorry. Can I please have a cheeseburger maxi meal and the Brittany Barath buffet? Please. The red eye circle.
What did you say?
He said that he wanted the Brittany pasta sombrero. Stop.
Did you just say?
We're gonna pull up now. Why?
Why don't you just ask her out, man?
How's my hair look? Is it the finesse?
You're driving a truck full of ash juice. I wouldn't worry about your hair.
I cannot deal with these losers. I'm gonna work the cheese.
A truck full of ass juice.
Hi, Gordy. Sean,
Hi, Wendy. Where'd Brittany go?
she switched to cheese. Sean, you think King's gonna put a hurting on Diamond Dallas Page?
Yes, I most certainly do. Hey, Brittany, how's the weather in there? Cold today? Hot tamale.
Leave me alone. Loser!
Corvair. Would a loser have 2 tickets to Monday Night Nitro live from Cheyenne tonight?
Yes?
Brittany.
This almost belongs in offensive territory because there's nothing I think in my mind like more distasteful in these kind of things where you show up to gas somebody out at work because they can't leave. Like to flirt or like aggressively hit on something.
Yeah.
So if you're like single and the bartender's being like overtly friendly, yeah, throw some sass back to them because like they're trying to get a tip or trying to schmooze or whatever. But they're working a drive-through and they're like, I want to fuck you. You don't do that.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Can you blame Brittany for switching to cheese? I would too if this guy was in my drive-thru line.
Yeah.
What's funnier to me is that she's supposed to be the like hot cool girl, and she's like, "What kind of fucking loser has tickets to wrestling?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We do," and they're total fucking ass juice losers.
Yeah.
And like, when are we supposed to find wrestling cool then? Because I don't yet, and I never do. You know, this movie does not sell wrestling to me at all. But it is partially produced by WCW to sell tickets to people who go to movies that may not be wrestling fans in order to get those wrestling fans or those movie fans into a wrestling arena, which they won't do because they can't sell wrestling because they suck at it. And this movie is just a perfect amalgamation of all the reasons why WCW went out of business, and I'll get into that a little further.
And I fully understand like how like the lore, like there's always some like, you know, inside baseball that's meant for theatrics. But the way this movie plays out is like, no, you're showing how like the people that run the business are actually corrupt.
And
Which isn't a selling point. That's not a selling point for your franchise at all.
Just not clever enough to hide how bad they are at it either. Okay, Bob, why don't we throw it over to you with test number 4? This is the worst production.
I'm just saying it now, and I'm cool with it, but we're gonna go long on this episode, I think.
I know, I can tell.
Wow, that production sucks. There's just too much to say. All right.
We're not going to go long because Chris just took my worst production. He ranted over my worst production. Here we go.
Oh,
the worst
God,
production.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. The worst production is narrow audience. And you're exactly right, Chris. Rotten Tomatoes said it best. Humor at its lowest that isn't funny for kids and is insulting to adults.
Yeah.
So who was this movie made for? It was made for wrestling fans. That's it. Like, you can't make a major motion picture without a mass audience and expect to have any like success or accolades. You might even say like Battlefield Earth was made strictly for the Scientology people, like, you know, like, which is part of the shit factor, but still. If you strip away the wrestling in this movie, there's a glimmer of a storyline and a redemption arc. Yet, as Chris said in our group chat, this is a movie made by the WCW, yet they pulled back the curtain, partially, to show how fake the hierarchy is, but the violence doesn't look fake in a lot of the scenes, you know, that's for sure. But either way, the audience was just too small for this movie. The audience was too small because it was just for wrestling fans. And like Chris said, no one's gonna watch this and say, "Now I'm a new fan of wrestling." The movie shouldn't have been made. Aronofsky's The Wrestler did it better.
All right.
Yes. Much.
If you've
better.
seen it.
Yeah, I have.
Right.
I mean, who hasn't? I remember when The Wrestler came out, like it took like 6 months, but then there was like a really solid buzz about how
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's
powerful it was.
I hear it's really good and very hard to watch.
It's sad as shit, yes.
Yeah. It is sad as shit. But Mickey Rourke does a fucking amazing job.
Yeah.
He does. I'll give him a lot of credit.
He really does. Not my favorite actor or anything, but he does a really, really good job. All right, let's go to test number 5. This is the worst acting.
I have a lovely sack
That very well may be, though your acting is not that good. This is the worst acting.
I think this first one is the worst clip of the movie, maybe, potentially. This is fucking crazy. Number 1. This is Bebop.
You want to see me make Diamond Dallas Page one of my ladies in waiting tonight?
No, I don't.
Diamond Dallas Page down into my dungeon and make him my medieval puppy dog bitch tonight? Yeah, that's what I thought. 'Cause I'm the...
Sing it, man.
I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs call me sire. Burn my kingdom. You must use fire. I don't stop rocking till I retire.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Chris has cringed within himself.
Wait, I need to stand, Marsh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why? Why does he do hip hop there? What? Somebody explain that to me. He's like
not just hip hop, but like 10 years prior hip hop. Like this is like late 90s or this is 2000s, right?
The year 2000, and this is like 1989.
Yeah, the year 2000.
And that was like a 1981 rap.
Yeah.
It really was as bad as it gets. And it makes absolutely no sense for his character. And then David Arquette's like, I love that shit, as if to be like, stamp of approval from our lead, because it sucks and we know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying, just absolutely awful. Number 2. This is Beat Your Butt.
Maybe they can help.
Kid's wasted his entire life wrestling. He could have been a doctor. Well, an ambulance driver at least.
Jimmy was never very bright. Left school in the 10th grade.
I beg to differ. Now, according to his authorized biography, Jimmy King worked very hard in high school. And after you died in a plane crash, he went to community college.
I found that part kind of funny.
And he supported you while he held 2 jobs.
I ought to kick your ass, freak.
We saw him last week. He came and borrowed our motorhome. We haven't seen him since. The big shit.
Yes. Jimmy King received a speeding ticket driving a motorhome. He gave them an address, St. Francis Motor Court, space 14.
Get off the phone, you pussy!
I gotta go. This is on the phone is for pussies.
I want to clarify about like the dying in a plane crash. Like I thought that could be a funny joke, but they didn't deliver well in this movie.
No,
but
they didn't.
I could see like Jeff Daniels doing that same line in Dumb and Dumber and it being funny.
I was just thinking of that parallel. That parallel of Dumb and Dumber works because they never are smart enough to figure out how dumb they are in this movie, much like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber is actually funny. And in this movie, they're like, just so, they wouldn't know what an autobiography is. He wouldn't have been able to say in his autobiography and then say, you died in a plane crash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just incongruent. How about number 3? This is Bitch and Daddy. Here's some Goldberg for you. Listen to this line delivery.
Can you say it now? I'm your bitch, and you're my daddy. Ow.
Roll right off his tongue.
That should teach you to be nice to kids.
Gentlemen, gotta go.
Yeah. God bless America.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that clip was based on Goldberg throwing the guy through the window and then coming up and he's like, "Can you say it now?"
Yeah.
The line delivery was fucking awful, but I guess nobody wanted to tell him because he looks the way he looks. So they just let it fly.
Here's a little piece of trivia I learned. So one of my favorite bands is a band called Electric Six. They're like they're a satire band, but they have serious musicians. They did an entire cover album for this label. Like, so they did a bunch of covers from like the 80s, 90s, early aughts and whatnot. And the reason the label exists is because they found out if they can get lesser known bands to do covers of popular songs, they can use them for movie rights if the original artist turns down this.
Yeah.
And I guarantee they contacted the Queen estate and they're like, "We are not letting you use We Will Rock You in this fucking movie." And then they got some other band to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to fact or no fact.
Oh,
Paper
right.
covers wrong. To lose the queen.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is fact or no fact.
All right.
All right, fact or no fact. My favorite part of the show sometimes. I called this Ready to Fumble.
Nice.
Nice.
Because it did.
Yeah.
It was not a success. So I'm going to read 5 things, and you guys are going to find the one thing. Well, you might find the one thing that is a lie.
Oh, we will.
Here we go. Number 1. The actor that played Jimmy King's dad was David Arquette's real dad. Second, the WCW president was going to play the part of the crooked promoter Sinclair. Third one, David Arquette did all his own stunts for this movie. Fourth one, this is WWE superstar John Cena's first appearance in a movie. And last one, there are a total of 6 nut shots in this movie.
Like people getting hit in the nuts, or are you like seeing nuts?
Correct.
All right, cool.
No,
I didn't see any nuts.
getting hit in the nuts.
All right.
What is this? A Breen film?
Yeah. All right. So
Yep.
number
So that's
one, I think if my logic's correct, I think there's a tell on number 1. Because somebody said something about David Arquette and nepotism, so that I would have reason to believe that he would get his dad in on this to extend the nepotism to his family. So I could see that happening. WCW president was going to play part of the crooked promoter. I could see that being bad PR after reading the script and them advising him not to like associate himself with something that undermines his franchise or business.
Yeah.
David Arquette did all his own stunts. This is where you guys are going to disagree with me. But I have a thing where, as dumb as he is, I think David Arquette's one of those A-type personalities where, like, they just show up and they, even though it's not good or whatever, I think he executes at a high level and probably did learn the stunt choreography for this just because to be extra. Because I feel like that's in his personality. I feel like he's the type of person to do that. I'm not saying it worked well, but I could see him being one of those guys that shows up knowing his shit and like just like being all business. It's just what he's into is like terrible. I know John Cena's in this. I can't confirm whether it's his first appearance or not. And 6 nut shots. I don't know, I could believe all of these, but I want to say the WCW president playing the part of the cricket promoter. I want to feel like that was a fact in another wrestling movie we did. And I'm going to call that the non-fact, even though I do believe that like there is a good reason for the person not to portray the person. So number 2.
Right.
I'm going to go with 6 nut shots is the lie. I'm going to say that there were like 14.
Sorry. I'm laughing. All right. Here we go.
I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, you both lost. The actor that played Jimmy King's dad was David Arquette's dad, and he passed soon after, like very soon after this. So, poor guy, but at least got to work with his son. The WCW president was going to play the part of the crooked promoter. He was all slotted to do it, but he was fired from the WCW before filming.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Do you remember his name?
No, I have to look it up. No, I forget his name.
Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff.
No, it wasn't Vince because Vince McMahon's the one I know, and that's WWE or WWF. But no, I forget the name.
Wasn't Eric Bischoff?
You know who did their own stunts? Scott Conn.
No.
The other.
Okay.
Yeah, he did all his own stunts in the movie. David Arquette had a double.
Okay.
I really believe that Arquette would have done it because he is currently, right now, I don't know if you know that, but he is currently a wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
He loves wrestling. Yeah. He is currently a wrestler.
I didn't put this in any of my stuff. I'm not even going to put it in my catch-all, but yeah, soon after this movie was released, they gave him the belt for championship, but I guess Arquette and fans agreed that's a bad move. So he lost it immediately, on a fight.
Wow.
But yeah, he was a WCW guy, and now he's a WWE guy.
Huh.
Go figure. This is John Cena's first appearance in a movie, though it was not a speaking part; it was still an appearance.
Right.
And yeah, total of 6 nut shots, half of which were to Oliver Platt's character.
Yeah. Yes. And then if you stick around for the end credits, there's another 15 or so.
So during the end credits, Oliver Platt apparently hit Macho Man Randy Savage, and it was a real hit. He actually hit him in the face.
Yeah.
And
then he apologized.
They put it in the outtakes, but that was a big everything I read was he actually hit him, and I'm I'm not gonna put that in fact, no fact, because it's in the fucking credits, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he actually hit him.
That is what they call a potato.
I didn't watch the credits, so I don't know.
I tapped out
because I like to be surprised by bad credit name.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's coming up after the catch-all and what we're watching. So let's throw it now to the catch-all.
Segway.
Time for the catch-all. Can I get my grievance out in the front?
Do it.
So you guys can rapid fire. This happened in another movie. I want to say it was the Patrick Swayze one, Roadhouse.
Yeah.
The world is too small in this movie. You're telling me that.
Yeah.
The three of us are really into wrestling, and whatever place we go to talk to people, oh man, are you going to go to that wrestling thing that we all know about? The specifics of all the specific details of this one oddly niche thing that you three are into. We know exactly how it's going to go down because we're all into the same shit.
You're exactly right. No, I didn't write that down. You're right. So good job.
That is their way of trying to sell wrestling. Oh, everybody already knows about it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's into it.
It's that popular. Yeah. My number 5. Septic dripping supper consuming dickbags. Yeah. This almost went to most offensive, but when they're eating burgers and they have just shit dripping out of the back of the truck right next to the burgers, it was effective in that it grossed me out. But what is the point of that? Because they could have eaten their burgers at any bench next to the park that they were parked at, instead of just sitting on the back of their septic truck as shit literally pours out of it. It was just to gross you out, and it pissed me off.
All right, so I wrote this down early, very early. Purple slushy, purple flavor. First of all, what? What the fuck is purple flavor? And then an asshole convenience store, the convenience store owner, passionately caring about a patron's opinion about wrestlers. I don't fucking get it. Why was that? Why was that at all? As much as that was a minor point in the story, that was the lead. That was the lead into the story. Why make it such a big deal when it had nothing to do? Yeah, that obviously I'm upset. Sorry.
It was also another instance where there was an intelligent person or a more intelligent person telling these losers why wrestling is fucking stupid. Which
honestly. And
like
he's a
this
convenience
guy
store
is
manager. He's not even intelligent, but he's intelligent enough to know better than they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. My number 4. They were completely covered in shit, and then they weren't. Just like Double Down. When the old man's head is bloody in one scene and then isn't in the next. They did such a bad job. The the Parkway prolapse, Rob.
Yeah.
Covers them in poo-poo. Yeah. But then the next morning when they're getting a hitchhike, job by the bean bus, they are not covered in poo anymore. Or, I mean, I don't know. Did it rain? We didn't see, but they were totally covered in shit, and then they weren't. About 6 minutes into the movie. Like 6 minutes after that in the movie, they were not covered in shit anymore.
Correct.
So they did not explain how they were not covered in shit. Because they were, like, putting the thumbs out, Yeah. Literally hitchhiking, so.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, you might want to write this down from most offensive. This is not my catch-all. This is something I forgot to mention. It's a quote from the movie.
Okay.
I might clip it later. The quote was, "She's too much like one of the guys. That's gay."
Yeah.
Like, that was a quote from the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And I forgot to mention it because I forgot to copy and paste it into the most offensive.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think this is a trope. Why is it that the dad is always a cop? Like, that's such a trope. Like, there's so many other professions in the world. Like, so many professions. I think it's a trope. He's a cop. And it's stupid that the entire family are state troopers. It's corny. It's dumb. It's cartoonish. And I never saw where it was going. And it really didn't go anywhere. Except for the fact that his wrestling character was a cop, which was fucking stupid.
Which his dad was satisfied with somehow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I'm wondering if, like, the whole cop thing, because it happens in other movies too, like you said. I wonder if it's just like a wardrobe thing. Like, if you're on a certain soundstage, you have access to certain, like, wardrobes, like this rows of clothes, and they probably just have an abundance of cop uniforms.
Yeah. That's fair. It
Rob,
also
if you were closer, I would pour water on you right now, Rob, because they've given the movie too much credit.
I'm not giving it too much credit. I'm calling it lazy for just, like, picking.
Cool down, Rob.
Yeah.
Get too hot over there.
I'm calling it lazy. All right. I'm saying, like, let's just do cop. We have tons of those. We don't have to order a new wardrobe because we have it right here.
Okay, you got a point. Yeah, because it was like standard.
It also makes the authority figure father more authority figure if he's a cop.
I guess.
Yeah. Now that's giving it too much credit. Fuck both of you.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough. My number 3 is it's called the Royal Bash. But Jimmy King wasn't on the card. So they were planning on having a Royal Bash without Jimmy the King.
Yeah.
Because he was written out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So the Royal Bash was not going to have the person who it was obviously based on, Jimmy King. By the way, did you know that there was a wrestler named Jerry the King Lawler?
I did not.
For real?
Yes. And he was a very popular, like, Midwestern wrestler. Like, so popular that he made WWF back in the WWF days, and he feuded with Bret the Hitman Hart, who was the champion at the time. Like, Jerry the King Lawler was an announcer during the Attitude Era, which was the most popular time in wrestling, other than the Golden Era with, like, Hulk Hogan. So Jerry the King Lawler is a giant person, like, in the business that every wrestling fan knows, and they didn't do Jerry the King. They did Jimmy the King, even though there's a Jerry the King Lawler. It just, like, it's too close for me.
It is too close, but Jimmy the King apparently was modeled after Ric Flair. That's
they did a horrible job at. I mean, horrible job.
I hate Ric Flair, and I hated this movie, so there you go. Okay.
All right. There's that.
So my number. We get 3 now? I don't know.
Yeah.
The Nitro girls, like a little more than objectifying women, but they do it for money and willfully. So maybe it's okay.
True.
Yeah.
I had like a ambivalence on that one. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, I think it would have been worse if they actually were extra naked.
I think they went in that context. They would have gone to a casting call and been like, "We're going to be scantily clad and showing side boob," you know.
Well, I think most of the cast were actually WCW employees. I think they were real.
I think so. Yeah, I think those were actually the Nitro
except for the ones that had except for the ones that had like speaking roles. They were actors, but everyone else was pretty much a wrestler or worked for WCW.
Yeah. Yeah, the main girl, I mean, she's like obviously like we've all seen her in other projects. I don't know her name, but
she actually played David Arquette's sister in the Scream franchise.
Huh.
Well, that's probably where
she was in one of our movies recently too. I forget which one. But she was in an indie movie that I watched recently called The Doom Generation, and she was pretty smoking in that. Anyway,
yeah, I mean she's definitely attractive. Number 2, David Arquette was handed the I'm doing it, Bob. David Arquette was handed the actual WCW championship belt in a match in a pay-per-view, and it definitely helped to lead to the demise of WCW. It was so frowned upon as a decision. It was like a cross-promotional decision to make David Arquette the actual WCW champion. But there's. Do you know what kayfabe is? Have you guys heard that term before?
Never.
It's an old circus term. It's like a Barnum and Bailey term that wrestling adopted to say, if you're like the bearded lady, but you're actually wearing a fake beard and you're just like a big fat lady with a fake beard, you pretend you wear that fucking beard to every diner you go to because we don't want the bearded lady to be seen without a beard.
Yeah.
Right? Kayfabe, I don't know what kayfabe meant, but kayfabe means that you pretend like wrestling is real if you're a wrestler. And so the problem was that David Arquette was obviously not a wrestler, and they put the title belt on him, had him win a match against people like Diamond Dallas Page, these huge, jacked wrestling dudes. David Arquette wins the title. In actuality, it's real canon, like it's real WCW lore, and it bothered WCW people so badly that it really actually definitely led, or at least helped guide WCW into a total collapse.
Yeah.
This was the last year of WCW's existence, and decisions like making David Arquette their actual champion were some of the reasons why they went out of business.
So do you think?
Well, like you said, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think this movie is one of those things where like we have X amount of budget to use up for the remainder of our fiscal year, so we might as well just make a feature-length film as a Hail Mary?
No, I don't think
No, because WCW at this point, it was a desperate attempt to pull more people into their audience.
Which does go to Rob's point. Rob's point was Hail Mary, like, we need promotion. Let's just do whatever we have with the money we have and make something. So yeah, I think you're right. I think both of you are right. And you're right, Chris. It's fake in its theater and it's not real. Mm-hmm. But then at the end, they're actually beating each other up to get this, so then it's real suddenly. Like, this is very confusing.
Right. That's the problem. That's why I hated the movie so much. It wasn't consistent like I feel like you guys felt like it was, because you don't know wrestling very well, and I don't blame you for that, because like my buddies are trying to get me back into wrestling, and I'm really trying, because WrestleMania is in April, and like I took time off from work so that I can go hang out with my friends for 2 nights and watch it. So I'm really trying to get back into it. But like,
let us know what days so we can text you incessantly.
No. So you can look that up for yourself. I just said what it is. But yeah, if you're a fan of wrestling at all, this movie should have pissed you off. And if you're not a fan of wrestling, it didn't endear you to wrestling. So I don't know what's what.
Because I really like.
That's why it was so bad.
I think wrestling's fascinating, but I'm intimidated by like the decades of deep lore, where it's like, do I start in like when it began and just work through it? Like, it's funny, like the roasting videos and the interviews, and like it's all appealing.
Oh yeah. There's a little bit of gold left, like in those mines, but
yeah.
Well, as a fan of wrestling in my like pre-tens, if you want to call it that, like my 9-year-old years, Mean Gene Okerlund was in this movie, and that made me happy because I miss him. He was a part of my youth.
Me too.
And
he was the man.
He's kind of like the innocent bystander of these things.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to Catch-All. I got two more. What was up with the unsecured nuns in the back of a utility van? Like no seatbelts, no like anything. It's just like just loose nuns.
Yeah.
And apparently
Singing
they were
Van Halen.
beefing.
So they could have him sing about the devil because.
And apparently they were
because how ironic. Yeah, indeed. My number one, Daddy. 4 Massacre is not a thing. You know the thing that they had like wrestlers go up onto the turnbuckles and then do like a headbutt or whatever to him?
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like instant death. That's not actually a thing in wrestling. Why was there a table ringside? Actual punches and still no damage somehow? Yes, I know he's bloodied, but he's actually punched in the face like 12 times before he like is at all damaged. Chairs get you disqualified, so they use steel chairs immediately in the match, and that does not get anyone disqualified. So does interference. Interference gets you disqualified.
I know.
Guess what Titus Sinclair says? He literally says you can't win a match by ambush.
It's unsanctioned, yeah.
And then he sends out a million goons to fuck with Jimmy the King, Jerry the King, whatever. Are they still hoping to sell wrestling to movie? Okay, I kind of already did it. They actually like call it lame repeatedly. I just don't know what the fuck WCW was thinking when they helped produce this movie. Go ahead, Bob.
I have a few more, but we've kind of covered most of them, so I'm just gonna stick with one we not talked about. I think it was Arquette, who was it was the girl we were talking about who was in the Doom Generation movie, who was kind of attractive. They were like he was like slap fighting her. It's like she's trying to get into your pants, and you're like slap. I
didn't get that.
He's slap fighting her, and she's. And then, of course, she's obviously a spy. Like, there's no question. It's just so obvious. Like, that's the dichotomy I had. Like, yeah, she's trying to get in your pants, and why are you slapping her? But it's obvious she's a spy, but not to him, but it is to us. And it's just...
Yeah.
It was bad.
And then she walks, like, 6 feet away and then has a conversation on, like, a dial phone. Like, what do you call those things? A fucking...
payphone.
A payphone. She has a conversation on pay. I can't believe I couldn't think of payphone. Like 6 feet away, and he's like going, and he like gets a Butterfinger from the claw machine. What the fuck is that called? I don't know. Where's my brain right now? And vending machine. And he's right next to her while she's like, "I just fucked like this dude. What do you want me to do next?" It's like. She has no idea that he's right behind her. It just
yeah.
Claw machine.
No, what was the first thing you said? That was even funnier. It was
not payphone. I said something phone.
Dial phone.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Dial. Yeah, something like that. Dial phone, claw machine.
Cool.
All right, can we throw it to what we're watching, or do you have one more, Bob?
No, that's it.
Let's do it.
I spend most of my free time watching movies because I feel like at any moment
We're all gonna die.
this is what we're watching.
Kick.
I'm watching Mr. McMahon on Netflix. It's a docuseries about. I'm bringing this up now because we're doing a wrestling movie, but it's about Vince McMahon, the CEO, former
I've heard
CEO.
about this. I heard it was
CEO.
really good and really dark.
Yeah, it is really good and really dark, and it makes him look like the piece of shit that he is. Like all of the interviewing that they did, all the interviewing they did of him was just before all the allegations of rape came out. Where he like, like so it's not rape in the sense that he like literally tied a woman down and like banged her, but like he like workplace pressured women into doing awful things with him, you know. And then some really insane details came out about some of the things that he was like texting the girls that he was like hiring to fuck his friends and him, like he's really into like fecal matter porn and shit like that. Like he's a fucking weird dude.
Yeah.
So not all of that I just said is included in Mr. McMahon the documentary on Netflix. But if you're interested in seeing what kind of a fucking like workaholic sex fiend, you know, like what their brain works like, check Mr. McMahon on Netflix. Otherwise, I'm watching Dexter on Netflix also. If you hadn't realized, I just re-upped my subscription to Netflix, and it's been a while, so I'm back on there, like looking for material to watch with my wife. Mr. McMahon is not one of them, but Dexter is one of those. Like we go to that when we don't know what to watch. So
nice.
All
right. I've been cleaning out my uncle's house, so once again, no new shit for me. So archive pick. And this is totally a Bob choice, as Chris would say.
Yeah.
This is an indie film from 1989 called The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Okay.
Now, this is not for the weak of heart or weak of stomach. It's the darkest of comedy / tragedies. Helen Mirren. You guys know Helen Mirren?
Yeah.
Like, people think of her as old, but in 1989... not so bad.
Yeah.
She goes topless. She goes topless in this a few times.
Ooh.
And she stars with a bunch of like British unknown to me people, except Tim Roth. Tim Roth is in this. I like him.
Yeah.
I know him.
Okay. I like him too.
So here's a quick synopsis. She plays the wife.
Him.
Yeah. She plays the wife of a criminal boss who also runs a restaurant. And she starts having an affair with a kind, lonely man who frequents the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's a cook. But you'll never know where the directions this thing goes. But it's really good, yet so dark.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of good humor. It's really enjoyable. If you can find it, I'd say watch it.
Right.
But you do have to like. This is not something I would watch with my wife. Like, I don't think she'd like it at all. It's just a little too dark for her.
Yeah.
Same with my kids. It's a little too gross. Like the sexual innuendo with my kids is just too gross. So it's definitely something I'd say watch by yourself.
All
right, fair enough. That's called The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. I'm up. Two movies I'll bring up just to keep it brief. Linoleum. It's like a science fiction fantasy film that came out in 2022 starring Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, in dual roles.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I don't like his stand-up. I'll be the first to say that. As an actor,
neither do I.
He caught me way off guard. It's basically he's a guy who
his acting is not bad. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything because I was never drawn to him because I don't like his comedy. But I just watched this not knowing he was in it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. But he's a washed up Bill Nye kind of guy, and he has a show canceled. He's going through a divorce. A bunch of shit happens, and like a car falls from the sky and sets up this weird chain of events. And then a rocket ship crashed in his backyard, and he's like, "I'm gonna fulfill my childhood dream. I'm gonna rebuild this rocket and become an astronaut." But there's also a whole plot with his father who has dementia, and it all comes together at the end. But it's fucking weird. It's oddly emotional and upsetting. It's very upsetting, but in a good way. Man, I'm really losing my fucking voice. And then Very Bad Things. It's like The Hangover, but with murder. And
oh yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah,
that's
Christian Slater.
Yeah,
Cameron Diaz, Daniel Stern, Jon Favreau, Jeremy Piven.
Jon Favreau, that's it, yeah.
It's fucking amazing. And I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to tap out. But watch Very Bad Things. It's really good.
It's all right, yeah.
I love it.
You starting to sound like fucking Steve-O, dude.
I know, dude. It's a dry air up here, and my parents have the heat way up, and there's dogs, and it's a whole thing. Anywho.
Oh, take some Benadryl, man.
I'm gonna. My daughter's coughing a lot too right now too. All
right, Shella wearing you out.
I'm gonna go with one-word answers for the rest of the show though, because I think I'm about to lose my fucking voice for real.
All right. Hey Rob, can we go to?
I'm gonna antagonize Rob, see if I can get him to force 2 words out.
Hey Rob,
speaking of falsetto.
Can we go to bad credit names?
Yeah.
Mike Flicker, Mike Chalk, Richard Lineback, Ahmet Zappa, Dweezil Zappa, and John Why Not?
John Why Not?
Dude's last name was Why Not?
Yeah.
Nice.
Literally. Why not? Offensive minigame. Let's do it.
You know, at this point in the show,
I don't feel anything. You?
Me neither, you?
Nothing.
So let's just jump to the offensive minigame.
Hooray.
Hard drive Jesus or crotch crab curiosity?
Jesus.
No, crotch crab. Crotch crab. I'm gonna go crotch crab.
Ooh, I'll go crotch crab as well.
It's just weird.
Breen's bloody eyeballs or Nitro noose?
Bloody eyeballs.
Yeah, eyeballs.
There's no context for the noose. It was probably just like a prop or something. I don't know. Didn't really offend me.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
Yes. Poopy boy peeping toms or sister streetwalkers?
Shit. Peeping Toms, I think, works.
Yeah.
I think this was more offensive.
We're going Poopy Boy Peeping Toms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about 2 women?
All right.
Are you talking about 2 women deciding to be prostitutes? Is that what the other one was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
one sister coerced.
Well,
the other.
that's them using free will and like thinking about a logical way out of like,
True.
Not logical, but like they're thinking of a way out. Whereas they are thrusting their voyeurism onto somebody else, which I think is worse.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
worse. I agree.
Right. That's fair.
I think it's clear, crystal clear.
I agree. All right, let's start with the movie comparison then.
Yep.
So what you're really trying to
I am here now or ready to rumble. Pitch team 5-star for I am here now.
Yeah.
Chris, you took it. That's 1 1/3 win for Chris this week. For ready to rumble. Nice job, Chris. Although you still lose to I am here now. Damn it. Offensive minigame. We just determined ready to rumble wins that one. So it's a 1-1.
Does.
Into dialogue.
It's
dialogue.
It's
It's
I am here now.
I am here now.
I am here.
It's I am here now.
Now.
Dot now.
Yes.
It's 4 dots. Production, we have casting catastrophe for I am here now, or narrow audience for ready to rumble.
I think ready to rumble.
Yeah,
I
agree.
do.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Acting, obviously, it's I am here now.
Yeah, it is.
I'm. By the way, Chris, I used the word ellipse in my class today. Just wanted to let you know.
Thank you so much. I love that.
But I snuck it in, knowing they wouldn't really hear me, because I said ... and then I said it's an ellipse, and I'm like, they didn't hear me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to let you know.
No, that's good. I need to hear the word more, apparently. So so I appreciate that. Demerits. The Wilhelm Bream or the Wilhelm Breen, or we haven't determined one yet for Ready to Rumble. What do you guys want to go with? Septic
man.
Supper?
Yeah.
Guess.
No.
That's not really. That's not really
I think the world being
That's just their profession.
I don't like the world how small it was. How everybody knew what they were getting into at all times throughout the entire movie.
So forced fandom.
It's a small world. I don't know.
It's a small world. I like that.
Small world forced fandom.
Yeah, I like that. That works.
Small world forced fandom.
All right, what's worse?
I still think Breen is worse.
I lost count, but like honestly, gun to head, I would watch I Am Here Now a million times over, and I would never watch Ready to Rumble again.
All right, so
see, I thought Ready to Rumble was a better narrative than I Am Here Now.
Look at this guy.
I just do.
It does have a better narrative, but I agree with Rob that I would rather watch I Am Here Now 10 times out of 10 over Ready to Rumble, which means
that's just your masochist.
What was the score though? Objectively, what was the score?
We had a wash. We had a wash until the demerits section where we determined, Rob, you and me, and not Bob, that Ready to Rumble is the worst movie of the season so far.
Good. Fuck this movie.
Sons of bitches.
Dude,
how did Breen get knocked out by Arquette?
Because at the end of the day,
I'm so happy.
We want to be entertained, and Neil Breen is entertaining. Whereas Ready to Rumble is trying to be entertaining and isn't.
This is amazing.
You know, Breen got knocked off pretty early in the season. Breen got knocked down. All right.
That means next
season.
Did.
Right, oh my god!
All right, what am I looking up? What's this next movie I'm looking up?
Next season we have to try again.
Deadfall.
We'll do pass through next season, but Deadfall.
We're Deadfall.
Yeah, Deadfall.
Yeah, we are watching. So we put up the poll. You guys decided who won, and it was Deadfall with Nicolas Cage. And I feel like there were a couple other earlier than that.
1993. It was pre-leaving Las Vegas.
93. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really
there is a sequel to Deadfall that came out in 2012 with Nicolas Cage.
That's called Arsenal, which is really, 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 really bad. But Deadfall's also really, really bad.
So we're destined to do both.
This is Nicolas Cage doing his thing before he was known for doing his thing. Because it wasn't his thing yet. He was just exploring the room in the most fucking unhinged way possible. So.
Fuck!
Hi, fucking yeah!
I might need your help with this one, Rob. I'm having a hard time finding copies of this.
It is on Tubi, but I will try finding a pirated copy.
Oh, it's on Tubi? Okay, so I can at least watch it soon.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's fucking amazing.
This is so great, though. Both of you were like, this movie's not that bad. Hey, guess what's the worst of the season, you pieces of shit? This piece of shit, fucking piece of shit movie, Ready to Rumble, you pieces of shit. All right. Rob, why don't you plug us? Send it to Bob for his last word, and then thank you, Shay. Thank you, Schmave, and Bye Jelly School.
And this is going to be a very short plug because I'm having trouble talking. I'm fighting for my life right now. www.theworstmovieevermade.com. All the stuff's there. Click the buttons. We're on socials. We're on streaming apps. We have video. We have audio. You can email us, www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Bob, what's your last word?
Subscribe, cowards.
Noose.
Nice. All right. Deadfall.
No, Noose.
Probably. All right. Deadfall next week. After reading these huge comments.
If we slow it down, we can actually shoot the bullets enter and exit Butterfinger.
How offensive! Wow, that production sucks. Time for the catch-all. So what you're really trying to say is... Now we
It's just funny to me that Rob composed an actual banger of a theme song and that's what he chooses to close the show with.
You got to mix it up, you know. I'll bring back the theme song next season. Maybe I'll open next week with the theme song. We'll see. Like, theme song clip, and I am done talking. So bye, Jelly Scoop.
Ooh. Bye, Jelly Scoop.
Oh man, it's fucking weather, man.